Hey, what's up guys? This is Cole with CJC Off-Road. I am very excited for this particular video because this is my new 2004.5 Ram 2500. Let's check out what we got going on here. A lot of you guys may remember the red third gen we've been posting recently in these videos. That truck hasn't gone anywhere. That said, it is now being driven by my dad. He kind of watched that whole build and has always been a fan of the 6-inch trucks that came through our shop back in the day. Really wanted one for himself, and so that is now in his possession. For you local guys to come by the shop a lot, that truck is still going to be around, so it hasn't necessarily gone anywhere. Me personally, I was actually kind of keeping my eyes peeled for a nice 5.9 third gen truck, and just so happened to come across this one. I really like this particular truck because it's an early headlight model with a sport package, has a black leather interior, and is, in my opinion, really unique compared to a lot of the third gens we see. It's also one of my favorite colors for these trucks, and that's Atlantic Blue. So I was super stoked to find this truck. Actually went out to New Mexico to drive it back. Flying out of state can be kind of risky with buying these trucks. You never know what you're going to get. Fortunately, the original owner of this truck kept this thing perfect over the years, and when he opened the garage to show it to me, I was ecstatic. So long story short, truck made its way back here, and as cool as this truck was in stock form, had a lot of things we wanted to change on it, and of course we wanted to give it the full treatment. I've actually owned this truck for less than a week. We wasted no time tearing into this thing. Let's go ahead and check out what the guys are doing in the shop. I'm actually excited to see what these guys have been working on out here. We've had obviously a lot of the newer trucks coming through our shop lately, and so we don't see as many of these third gens anymore. But when we do, typically they're super high mileage trucks, and just about everything has to be cut out and replaced. This truck uniquely has under 100,000 miles, so actually made for a great blank canvas for these guys to start tearing into. There were a variety of worn out parts under this truck. Ball joints were shot, track bar was worn out, steering linkage is worn out, which we're not going to be addressing in this phase of the build. So this is actually going to take place as a two-phase build. Initially, we are starting out with the Carli Backcountry system. This system is kind of almost, I'd say, the unsung hero of the Carli line. And the reason I say that is the Backcountry offers some of the best bang for the buck in the entire Carli third gen product lineup. So you get the off-road performance, that a lot of people actually use these trucks for, right? So great for back roads, fire roads, things like that. But you're also going to realize the ride quality improvements that Carli offers as well. So you're getting the lighter spring rates, the custom shock tuning, all those things that make these Carli systems work really well right out of the box, and at a price point that's very appealing to most. So what you're paying for an entry-level backcountry kit is actually on par with most of the cheap lift kits out there in the market. So this, for this reason, this is something that a lot of our third gen customers really like. Let's take a deeper dive into what the Backcountry is. So the Backcountry is Carli's Fox 2.0 reservoir system for these trucks. What we really like about what Carli did with these systems is this truck being a 2004, Carli tailored the system specifically for this truck, right? So while your typical lift or suspension setup for these Rams uses the same generic Fox part number for basically a 1994 to 2012 truck, Carli actually has these divided up and tuned based on the year of the truck. So this particular system ranges from 03 to 09 third gen specific trucks. Carli has a specific spring rate and a specific shock package just for this truck. So in that base system, Carli includes their custom tuned coil springs, includes the adjustable track bar, as well as front and rear Fox 2.0 reservoir shocks. And again, with that custom tuning, you are getting something that's tailored exactly for your truck. The other reason we really like this system for these trucks is the Backcountry shocks are the minimum shock required for full progressive rear leaf springs. So with Carli's full progressive rear leaf springs they offer for these trucks, they're designed to kind of reduce all the pogoing effect that these trucks have stock. The smallest shock you can run is these Backcountry shocks. So, smaller, commuter shocks, signature series shocks, those shocks are valved too lightly for these full progressive leaf springs. And so that's why the Backcountry has been a really popular kit throughout the years, because it represents basically the best best price of entry if you're wanting to basically change front and rear suspension on your 3rd gen. I can't drive this point home often enough. So these shocks actually have a 986 part number, which means these are private label custom tuned shocks that Carli gets from Fox with Carli's own specific valving profile in them. Basically every lift kit on the market is going to have regular 985 or 980 part number shocks in it. That is a great way to tell if your suspension setup you're running on your truck is basically a combination of various companies' components thrown together, or if it is a full-on cohesive custom tuned system specific for your truck. We opted for Carli's torsion sway bar. That is, kind of goes without saying, we have a lot of videos on that, but that particular part number is, I'd say, the most drastic improvement after the suspension and the leaf springs themselves in terms of ride quality. You're getting a much lighter spring rate on your sway bar, and you're basically taking away almost all the side-to-side rock that these trucks exhibit stock. The actual most exciting piece we're introducing on this build is Carli's new high clearance arms. You'll notice these arms look a little different from what you're used to seeing because they are completely billet. So Carli actually started from the top, basically introducing a full-on top-down custom high clearance arm set designed to fit 37-inch tires on these trucks. So your typical Ram arm is fabricated from 2 ends and then a center tube or a center section welded in between. These are full-on one-piece arms made from billet CNC aluminum. No one else is doing anything like this on the market for these trucks, and this, in my opinion, is one of the coolest parts to come out for these trucks in a long time. I was super excited to actually get the very first set to run on this truck and to show you guys for this video. Basically, to explain what these arms do in terms of clearance, you're getting functionally a very similar arm to Carli's regular mild steel arms, right? So you're still getting the captured uniball design, Johnny joint style design, so to speak, that they're using on these arms. They work really well for articulation, for easy engagement of the arms. But what you're really getting with these arms in particular is the ability to run 37s easily under these trucks. And that's going to kind of combine what we're talking about with wheels and tires on this truck as well. So for this truck, we're running plus 25 offset CJC Off-Road Exclusive Machine 315s paired with Toyo MT 37 by 12.5 by 17 MTs. Now, 37s on a 3-inch lift were almost unheard of up until, unless you're wanting to cut up your fenders pretty badly with these trucks. So circling back, these arms have slots actually machined into the arms themselves, allowing you to run plus 18 to plus 25 offset wheels without having your 37-inch tires touch the arms. And as a result, you're fitting these 37-inch tires with almost no trimming. In fact, a lot of 37s will fit with no trimming with this setup. And this makes for a really great platform for you 3rd gen and early 4th gen guys to run 37s with 3 inches of lift. Ball joint wise, the stock ball joints on this truck were completely shot, so we had to go ahead and replace them. We're actually going to highlight more of the steering upgrades on this build later. In the meantime, this is running Carli's Y low mount stabilizer on this factory Y style steering. This is another part kind of unique to the Carli catalog, right? So while most aftermarket stabilizers are designed for the 08.5 T style steering, Carli actually introduced a clamp that allows you to mount their low mount stabilizer on a Y style steering truck to basically not have to change your linkage in the meantime to run a Carli stabilizer. Cool thing is, if I go to change the steering linkage on this truck later, I'll be able to retain that stabilizer, but we'll talk about that more in the next video. Let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive. So this thing feels significantly better than stock, both small bumps and big bumps. Small bumps still feel them a little bit, very muted compared to what they were, but where this really shines is on the bigger stuff. So for instance, commuting to work, there's a section of freeway where I would take this thing over a small little bridge. You'd literally come out of the seat on it. That's gone, right? So night and day difference on the harder hits, and you know, the expectation is realistic. This thing is literally night and day for the stock suspension on these trucks. Another really good example is on a pothole filled road. So whereas a stock truck, you're basically limited at about 5 miles per hour just for, you know, sheer sake of rattling your teeth out. Your truck simply can't do it, right? With this setup, I'd say I'd be comfortable going maybe 35, 40 miles an hour over, you know, a pothole filled road, basically making this truck totally usable for, I'd say, what most people would want to work out of these trucks would want to do with it, or say you want to take the truck camping, things like that. So in this instance, you really are expanding what the truck can drive on with the suspension system, which is why we really like these backcountry kits. Now, say for instance, you wanted to get more out of the thing off-road, right? So you find, hey, I'm really enjoying taking this truck out, I want to use it. Carli's Pentop Dominator systems are a shock package upgrade away, so every other component is the same. Springs, all that sort of thing. So it's a very expandable system. And again, it's why we really like these Carli suspension setups on these trucks. Now, this was just stage one for this build. We got a lot more up our sleeve. Our next video being steering, which we'll be talking about very shortly. As we know, this is a very common topic for these third gen trucks. The improvement is already night and day just with the track bar and the ball joints. And the crazy thing is there's still more to cut, or more improvement to be had with more upgrades. So that will be coming soon. So I appreciate you guys following along, and a lot more of these videos coming shortly. Thanks for watching.